How does that love manifest itself? Paul gives a variety of ways in which we see that love. He breaks it down into some of its component parts, if you will, beginning with a heart of compassion. That is, that tenderness towards those who are suffering. A willingness to look at life through their eyes and to see what they need and to come to their aid and assistance. Christians ought to be compassionate people. They should follow the example of Jesus, who himself was compassionate. There are many examples of Jesus' own compassion in the Gospels, but one that strikes me as particularly tender is that story where he is traveling about and he sees a funeral train off in the distance coming out of the city of Nain. And here this woman who is a widow, her husband is gone, is mourning the loss now of her only son. And you need to understand that this is particularly a powerful story because this was her last means of support ordinarily in Jewish society. Women were supported by their fathers, then their husbands, and possibly their sons. After that, things could be rather difficult in that day. Jesus, seeing this woman mourning the loss of her only son, who's already suffered the loss of her husband, has no other means of support, Jesus comes up to that funeral procession, comes up to that casket, if you will, or that funeral bier, and places his hand on that boy and causes him to rise again from the dead. Raises him up to new life. Compassion. Meeting the need of this woman. A stranger. We need to be compassionate towards those who are in need. The elderly who are among us. The sick. The widows. We need to be concerned for them and their well-being. And be sure that they are cared for. That is an expression of Christian compassion. Compassion is that which is freely given. It's not to be compelled. I would make this note. There's a lot of controversy over the meaning of compassion within the broader evangelical community. Is compassion expressed through that free giving of yourself towards others, whereby you help them and minister to their needs? Or is compassion found in voting for the government to come and do things for people? Which is it? Well, it might seem that voting for social programs is the most compassionate thing to do. But isn't that a form of getting somebody else to do what you should be doing personally and directly? Spending other people's money to minister to the poor and the needy? True compassion is personal. It's direct. It's one-on-one. It ministers to people that we know and cares for them. And it's not without standards. It's not indiscriminate. It takes into account the nature and the character of the individual. One of the problems with contemporary notions of compassion, where the government comes in and ministers to people, is that it is indiscriminate. There are many problems. But one is that you have a person who does not give up their drugs, their alcohol, they're continuing to do these things, they're unwilling to go to work, and yet the government comes in and gives them help. Christian compassion seeks change and enforces that change, and sometimes does not help people. Paul said, if a man is unwilling to work, then neither let him eat. Is that compassionate? Yes. You have to force upon some people the necessity of doing the right thing. And allow them to experience the consequences of their evil. So compassion is freely given, looking to those who are needy and seeking to rescue them and to help them.